In this video, we are going to break down the fundamentals of Tai Chi. There's 8 energies, but we're going to cover the 4 main energies. We're going to cover movement. There's 5 movements. Some of the postures, proper body positioning, breath work, how we do it, why we do it, and how it's integrated into the rest of the process. And then we're going to use grasping the Sparrow's tail, which is a series of movements, to break down these energies and movements and postures to better understand how it works. And we're also going to break down about what Tai Chi is about, why we are doing these things for different reasons. So let's start off with the 4 energies. There's 8 in total, actually. So in classic Tai Chi, there's 8 energies, 4 main energies, and 4 like cornerstone energies. So the 4 main ones are Peng, which is ward off, Lu, which is roll back, On, push, Ji is press. So think of those like squeezing, pressing. So those are the 4 movements, the 4 energies. The 5 movements that we do, along with those 4 energies, 5 movements are pretty simple. Move forward, move backwards, turn left, turn right, center. All right? So stepping and moving forward are kind of the same thing. You can step in, or if you're in place here, I'm moving forward, I'm moving back. I'm sinking in to my front leg, sinking into my back. You do have stepping and you have leaning in. Those are both moving forward, moving backwards. All right, so next we have is our breath work. So the breath work is inhale, exhale, and however long it takes you to inhale is how long it takes you to do pulling in energy. Exhale, that's how long it takes you to move out energy. So energy is anything from incoming force, physics, classical Tai Chi, when it was practiced by the Taoist practitioners, it also worked with Qi. Right? So Qi was either your spiritual energy, but it was also the physics of in, out. Right? It would be the momentum that you pull in and the momentum you push out. So for the breath work, what's really, really important is that when you inhale, is you push the stomach out. You expand for inhale. You want to pull as much air in as possible. When you exhale, you want to push that air out. So when you inhale, push the stomach out, push the chest out. When you exhale, squeeze. The body contracts. Inhale, the body opens. Contracts, exhales. So to give you an example for the timing, so if I were to pull in and back out, so however long it takes me to inhale is how long it takes my hands and my body to finish that inward motion. Exhale is how long it takes to go out. So I'll give you an example. So let's say it takes me 5 seconds to do an inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My inhale is done. My hands are done. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how we time in Tai Chi. You inhale, and the duration of time during that inhale is how long it takes you to execute that movement. So what's important to do is to time your inhales. So the best thing to do for that and exhales is to count. So basically you just kind of let the air out, then inhale and count to yourself. So it's about 6. Counted to about 6 when I inhaled, counted to about 6 when I exhaled. So I want you to pause the video, and I want you to do about 3 or 4 of those. Slowly inhale, slowly exhale, and count. And once your inhale is done, count again for your exhale. And that's going to be the timing of your movements. So for reference, to make it easier, I'm going to go off of 5. Let's just say my inhales and exhales are 5 seconds. So everything that I'm doing is going to be 5 seconds. So that time frame is going to vary depending on how long it takes you to inhale and exhale. So when you do these, don't do them for 5 seconds, do them for whatever your count is. Alright, so I want to do a little bit of standing posture, kind of break down how the body is in movement. This is very, very important. Feet about shoulder width apart, knees bent, relax, sink into your legs. Relax your shoulders, back is straight, chin is tucked in. Your tailbone is going to be tucked in as best as possible, right? You want to tuck in the tailbone, kind of pull in the chin, back is straight. It's like a post. It's like I got a pole right here and I'm just relaxing. When we turn in Tai Chi, the back stays straight. We keep, in all movements, we keep the spine, the back, as straight as possible. So when we turn at the hips, as opposed to halfway through the waist. In that area, we turn lower down the hips. So if I'm going to turn to the right, instead of turning here, where my hips are still square, my hips and my shoulders turn. I'm turning here as opposed to here. All right? So, move left, move right. So if I'm in place, I'm here. As opposed to, you shouldn't feel any tightness in this area. You should feel the tightness in your hips. That's where you have that. It should be right in these hip areas as opposed to the stomach area. All right, back straight. Chin in, tailbone tucked in. Call this the Dian-tan. Just right here. All right, that's your center. So when you move, think of your legs having water or sand. So at this point, I have the same amount of sand or water in both legs. As I move to my left, I'm slowly moving that water and sand more and more to my left. There's less in the right. I'm shifting the weight, the sand or the water, back and forth. So however much weight you're giving up on one side, that's the same amount of weight you're putting on the other. All right? Yin and yang. Force down, emptiness. That's yin. Yang. That's force down. Everything in Tai Chi is about balance. As I lean out, I'm extended out this way and I'm extended out that way. Extended. Pull in. All right? So one thing you're going to see a lot of is when hands and feet come together, you'll see timing, where the hand and the feet move together. All right. So, we have the breath work, we have the posture, we've got the 4 energies. So let's break these 4 energies down and learn grasping the Sparrow's tail. So when we first start, now I recommend watching the Seating the Buddha video because that does a great job of showing how we coordinate breath and body and how that works together. And it's a good practice exercise for doing breath work and movement. The reason why breath work and movement is so important is it's used to exert or pull in the energy you need. So if I'm doing a very fast strike, it's a real fast exhale. If I'm doing a push, I'm exhaling because that's the amount of effort I'm pushing out. The way I'm exerting that force is very different between the two of them, which is why the breathing is different. If you notice the amount of time it takes me to breathe, it's the same amount of time it takes to cover that space, right? I exhale and I move and strike at the same time. What that does is it focuses the entire body and intention into that single action, right? So when I do a fast exhale and I strike, every single movement, my thoughts, my breath work, my body, everything is all channeled into that particular movement. It's a hyper focus and it's a teamwork of muscles and the skeleton and the intent and all of that just goes right into that hyper focus of completing that action. All right, so let's break down the 4 energies, and we're going to do that through grasping the sparrow's tail. So after you watch the seating the Buddha to get an understanding of the breath work. Now, seating the Buddha is how we start into a lot of our forms and our exercises in that. So we're going to skip the seating the Buddha because I want you to watch that, and you can add that in. So we're going to start with holding the ball. So when we start, we're going to go into holding the ball. So feet together, hands out. Back straight, tailbone tucked in, elbows bent. Imagine there's a string where you've got something tied around your wrist and it's holding it up. All right? Hands relaxed. All right. So from here, we're going to go into what's called holding the ball. Your left hand is going to, like it's scooping up water or sand, and you're bringing right up to where your waist is. Now as you scoop that, when your hand meets your foot, bring your foot in and put all your weight on your right leg. Your right hand is going to come in. So basically you're going to do this. Where you're going to relax. All right? Bring the left foot in. As much of your weight as you can bear on your right leg, as little on your left. You can have the foot up and have all your weight on your right foot, but just starting out, slide your toe up. So when you are up here, like so. You can have the weight on this foot as well. But more weight on your right than your left. All right. Right hand in. So if you notice, I'm moving at the same time. Drop the left hand, scoop. Pull the foot in, holding the ball. Now we're going to work on that with the breathing. So we're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. Count to 5. Left hand out. Drop, scoop. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now we're going to go into pump, ward off. So pump or ward off is an expanding energy. So we call them energies because that's what you're exerting. That's the energy you're using in that move. So pump is, think of it as you have a ball, you're holding a ball, just hold the ball, and you're pumping it full of air and it's expanding, right? The ball or the balloon is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you're warding off. So we're going to do this 2 different ways. There's going to be pong the way we do it in the movement, and then I'm going to kind of separate the 2 so you can kind of get a better visual of what I'm doing. Because one of the things about Tai Chi is it's very subtle in a lot of its movements. So we're going to work on kind of breaking those down. Holding the ball, palm. Step out with your left foot, heel first. Majority of Tai Chi is heel first. Heel. So you're going to go hand, the forearm, and you're going to push. You're going to expand. So you're tight, you're contracted, heel, out. Another way to look at this is, I'm going to drop my hand so you can kind of see I'm out here. So if you notice from this way, I'm pushing out. My arms are out. I've got this circular motion. I'm here and I'm expanding. If my hand was lower, right? Palm, expand. Elbows are bent. This is an inhale, so the palm is an exhale. Step out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. Holding the ball. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Holding the ball. Step out. Palm in your form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. After that, we have Lu. So Lu is rollback. So think of it as, so Peng is ward off, Lu is rollback. Lu is about yielding to the energy and redirecting it. You're letting it come in and you're just moving it just past you. So for Lu, here, so once we got the Peng, you're going to turn, so your front hand is going to roll over, and your bottom hand is going to come down. Almost think of it as an alligator. So basically what you're doing is, if there was an arm extended in front of you, this hand would be right here, and this hand would be underneath, and you're pulling. Now pretty much majority of my weight's on my front foot. So when I come back, think of it as sinking into this back foot. I'm rolling back and I'm sinking down. My weight's coming down. Instead of leaning back, I almost fall back because I'm past my leg. I'm sinking down into this leg. So the best way to describe it is if I was sitting down. So if you go to sit down and you have a chair, you're going to go back and down into that chair. So you wouldn't sit back and knock the chair back. You would go back and down. So think of it as sinking when you pull back and loop. Peng. Turn the palms. So now we're going to sink back. Down. All right? Down. All right, so we're going to do that from palm to loop. So it's inhale, exhale, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you're pulling down, at the end, palm to you. It's a sword hand into the wrist. Lu. What I'm doing is I am accepting that energy and I'm pulling it right beside me. Straight down to the ground. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My hips, my shoulders, I'm square to you. Here, palm, I'm square that way. Hips, shoulder, palm. Lu, turn, hips, shoulder, square to you. So if you notice, I'm not turning this way, I'm turning my whole body. Hand up, sword palm into wrist. All right. Next is Ji. So Ji is press. So think of a press like, almost like squeezing juice. So Ji is done with both arms at the same time. So when we do Ji, it is right where our wrist is, sword hand, it goes right inside. That is Ji. All right, that's the movement that we want. We'll go from this side to here. What's happening is this is that point of contact. This hand is pushing behind it. So when we do Ji, your wrist is pushing into your sword hand. There's a tightness, there's a squeezing of it. Both arms are doing the work of extending. And when you do that, you're pushing in the opposite direction with your back leg. You're locking yourself down and you're bracing down while you're pushing out. Best way to describe it is the equivalent of that. Or if you have your foot against something and you're trying to push something or someone away and you're bracing against the wall to push, that's what you're doing. So we're here. You're going to turn and push down on your back leg, out. This is tight, out. Do it with the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ji. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one is on. So on is push. But it's not push like an aggressive push. It's more like pushing a car up a hill, right? It's a slow or long push. It's really hard. It's not fast. It's not like that kind of push. It's more of pushing something up a hill. So on is a circular motion. So when you push something, you're really not pushing it forward, you're pushing it up. There's an upward angle to it. So think of it as like you're lifting something up. So the application is if someone is bent over, you're hitting up into this rib area, you're coming up into a person, up. The goal is not to push someone this way, you're actually pushing them this way. The energy is not level with the floor, the energy is actually at an angle. All right? So the energy exertion is here. All right, Ji, we're here. Hands out. Now you're going to lean back, sink into that back leg. Remember we talked about like sitting in a chair. Sink back, the wrists up. Drop the elbows. Make sure you're not scrunching up. Relax the elbows, wrists up, down by the waist. You come up, upward angle. Now on is a 2 count movement, meaning it's 2 parts actually. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm taking in energy. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Those are the 4 basic energies in grasping the sparrow's tail. And these are, and you can even break these down into just individual exercises too, right? So you can do these in place. You can just simply you can switch sides. Or if you want to do pump, just simple as inhale, right back to grasping the ball, holding the ball. Pump. You can go to G, you can go to here. I mean, you go to loop, here, just drop. Pong. Loop. So you can do these individually as well. So let's break this down by count, and then we'll do it with the breath work. All right, by count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, those are the counts. Now we can do it by breath work. So this is going to be just inhale and exhale. So when you get to this point, you want to exhale. Because your next one is going to be an inhale. And that's grasping the sparrow's tail. Let's do a quick review of all the different 4 energies of movements, and then wrap up. So, we have palm, step with the left, heel, hand on the forearm. This is expanding energy. Exhale. This is expanding energy. You're going to exhale. Elbows bent, expanding out, forward out. Loop. Roll the hands. You're going to go back. You're going to sink into your back leg. Move backwards. Drop the hands. Below the waist. Inhale. Palm up. Sword hand into the wrist. G. Sink into the front leg. Both hands. You're going to squeeze these 2 together. Both arms at the same time. Out. If you notice, the difference between palm is my elbows are out. There's a circle here. It's like you could put a balloon in this area. G is I'm here, and I'm a little bit tighter in my elbows, and it's a focal point. So Pong is this, G is this. So what I'm doing with Pong is I'm taking this contracted energy, and I'm expanding it out. In G, I'm taking this energy and I'm funneling it between 2 arms into a center point. G is about taking a small space that you're funneling all this energy into. Here, out. And there's the difference between my arms here versus here. So in Pong, you should be able to have a ball in here. In G, it's almost like a triangle. It's a focal point as opposed to a circular outside. Qi, on. Hands out, sink into the back leg, lift the front foot up, wrists up, drop the elbows, you're not shrugging. Wrists up by your head, down to your waist, push forward and up. All right, so I want you to work on those. I want you to work on the 4 energies, Pong, Lu, Qi, on, ward off, roll back, press, push. The 5 movements, move forward, move back, move left, move right. Work on your inhale. Breathe in, expand the chest, the stomach, expand the lungs, open up when you inhale. Exhale, contract. And your body position. Remember, you're turning at the hips, not the upper body. Back stays straight, tailbone tucked in, head up. It's all about turning at the hips and relaxing and maintaining that flow. And breathe. Anytime you're pulling energy in, anytime I'm accepting or I'm coming inward, it's an inhale. Every time I go out, exhale. General rule of thumb. So, I'm going to leave you with what we call a mindful moment to work on that breath work. This is a really good exercise for learning breath work timing. So you can step out, heel, toe, feet together, toe, heel. So basically you want to stand shoulder width apart, like you're holding a giant ball. Inhale, up, to your mouth, exhale. Drop the hands. Inhale, however long it takes you to inhale, that's how long it takes the hands to come up. Exhale. When you inhale, rise, up. When you exhale, sink, push in. Work on those things. Rewind the different sections that you need to. And I hope this helps. This is the fundamentals of Tai Chi. And any questions, feel free to ask away. Thank you.